Hello everyone, this is Manish, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can download and configure the MEM Evaluation Lab Kit. So MEM Evaluation Lab Kit is nothing but a self-deploying SCCM System Center Configuration Lab which can be downloaded and can be configured in a matter of less than 1 hour. So in my scenario, I found that it took somewhere around 30 to 35 minutes of time to download 25 GB of data from Microsoft, and additional configuration took around 15 to 20 minutes of time. So within 1 hour of time I was able to configure it. So without wasting any time, let's go and see what exactly it requires. As you can see the name, MEM Evaluation Lab Kit. So it's a self-deploying lab for the configuration manager. So what are the benefits of having the MEM Evaluation Lab Kit? Let's see. So as I told you, it takes less than 1 hour of time, right? So that's the very first benefit. If you have to start learning the SCCM, if you don't have time, that is the simplest way to go and get it configured and start exploring the technology. And another benefit is that you don't need to have a knowledge of installing the complex SCCM infrastructure, because for installing the SCCM there are a lot of prerequisites required, and you need to have a deep knowledge of understanding the installation of SQL Server, Windows Server, and so many things. But in this case, everything comes out of the box. It's like a plug and play. The moment you download, do a basic configuration of Hyper-V, you have complete setup with username, password, everything provided by the Microsoft. This lab also comes with the setup guide and lab guide. So what is setup guide? Setup guide is nothing but the instructions. It's around 5-6 pages of document provided by Microsoft on how you can configure. So the content of this video is from the setup guide only. I'm not doing something special. So what exactly is there in setup guide, I'm just explaining in my own way that how you can configure. The second thing is which comes is lab guide. When you download the whole content, the lab guide is nothing but the instructions which you can go. For example, if you have SCCM lab, what you're going to do with that? Maybe you have to deploy application, package or OSD, but you don't have approach where to start with. Lab guide is going to tell you that what exactly you can do. So this is going to help you a lot if you wanted to have a ready-made course to explore the MEM technology. And the benefit of this SCCM lab is that it can be easily configured with the trial. This can be easily configured with the trial accounts of Azure, so that you can start exploring the technologies like Intune, Microsoft 365, Office 365, etc. Once this lab is configured, which takes less than 1 hour, you have fully functional multiple servers with configuration manager, domain controller, gateway servers and other servers, along with few Windows 10 or Windows 11 workstations. I believe nowadays they are just providing Windows 11. So you have fully functional lab with domain joint scenarios, workgroup scenarios, which can easily be explored. There are few prerequisites required to configure this lab, because you cannot simply go and pick any Windows 10 or Windows 11 device. So let's see what exactly the requirement is. The first thing is you need to have a Hyper-V role installed. So Hyper-V comes as a part of Windows 10 or Windows 11 on Enterprise, Pro and Education version. So if you have one of the versions, yes, simply go and configure. You check my another video where I have provided you the step-by-step instructions on how to configure Hyper-V. It's very easy. Other thing is that you need to have a 150 GB of free disk space available on your laptop or desktop. So why 150 GB? The lab size, the zip file which you download is 25 GB only, but when you extract, it goes somewhere around 140 to 150 GB, right? So that's why 150 GB is Microsoft's requirement, but the recommended is 300 GB, because the moment you will start using the lab, obviously the size will grow. So 300 GB, but nowadays I don't think it's a big trouble of having that 300 GB of free disk available. It's pretty much very easy to have that kind of configuration available. Other thing is that you need to have a 16 GB of minimum RAM, though the recommended is 32 GB. I highly recommend that you need to have a device with 32 GB, but in case if you have 16 GB, yes, you can still go with that. And other thing is about the hard disk. Your hard disk should be, I would prefer it should be SSD, because the Microsoft requirement is you should be having a high throughput disk subsystem. If you have SSD hard disk, you will see the performance is unbelievable. If it is internal SSD, I would prefer it more as compared to buying an additional SSD. Yes, that can also work in a scenario, but I will highly prefer if it is in an internal. So nowadays the laptop comes with very high-end laptops are coming, and SSD has become part of everyone's life. So if you're looking to buy any laptop or desktop, just make sure you go with the SSD one. Okay, so processor is also another requirement. You need to have a high-end processor. So high-end processor means, what is the definition? I would say that think about, if you're buying any laptop or desktop, look for the core and processor. So it should not be less than 6 core or it should not be less than 6 core and 12 processors. So this is the important thing which you need to consider, though there is no specific criteria, but I found that this is something which I will prefer to have a good performance. And obviously the final thing is high internet speed connection, because you are going to download 25 GB of data. See, downloading might take more time or less time depending upon data, but depending upon the speed. The good thing is you can download this data from any place, from your friend's house or anywhere where the internet speed is good. Once it is downloaded, then do copy paste on your personal device. So it's very easy to configure. Okay, this lab consists of 2 major files. There will be 2 zip files. You can see the link on the page. I will be giving you a demo that how you can configure. So it's very easy. Simply go and you will be able to, or you can also go and type the term MEM Evaluation Lab Kit on Google, and the very first page will take you to the page to download the 2 zip files. So what are those 2 zip files? See the screenshots which I have captured. One will be the 2211 lab.zip and 2211 lab guides.zip. Microsoft used to keep on updating that file, I think every 3 months or 6 months, something like that. So because it provides a validity of 180 days, so these names will keep on changing, just keep in mind. So the first zip file, that is the lab.zip, ending with lab.zip, is somewhere around 25 GB. That is the complete setup of the lab. We need to understand that what these 2 files are. The first one is completely the evaluation lab kit. The second one, which ends with lab guides.zip, this consists of just 2 files, that is the Microsoft Word documents on how to configure the lab. It provides you the username and password credentials as well, and along with the complete lab guide of what activities you can do with the SCCM. Right? Clear? This is what I was telling you, that the Word file, these are 2 Word files for the second zip file, and in the below picture you can see that it's a real lab. So how to configure the lab? For configuration of lab, we have to create a switch on Hyper-V, which I will be showing you very soon. It's very easy. And second is, you just need to click on the setup.exe. What it will do, it will extract the complete lab from Zpack, that you can see the file sizes are somewhere around 25 GB. It requires an application, so Zpack.exe is already there. So you don't have to do anything. You have one job to do. I would say 2 jobs to do. On Hyper-V, simply do a configuration for the switch manager, and second, click on setup.exe. That's it. Everything will be configured for you. Once the configuration is done on Hyper-V, you will be able to see these servers, which I have taken directly from that lab guide from Microsoft setup guide. So all these servers will be configured, which consists of multiple servers and the workstations for Windows 11. So you have a lab with client installed, we have a lab with username, password, everything is configured. Simply go log in with the credentials. That's it. These are the details which I have got from the setup guide. So you have a local administrator and domain administrative accounts got created. So you can see on the screen. I will be providing this information in the description as well. That's it. Now let's begin the demo. I have opened the Edge browser and open the Google page. I am going to type MEM Evaluation Lab Kit. So the very first thing, Microsoft Endpoint Manager Evaluation Lab Kit. Click on it. So now this is the page which will help you to download. So don't get confused with the first option, download the zip, though it will also going to take you to the page to download it, but I would prefer to go to, just scroll down. Under lab environment, you need to click on download the lab environment here in the evaluation center, because this is the one which is going to take you to the most recent lab environment And the name of that lab environment is actually real name is Windows 11 and Office 365 Deployment Lab Kit. So that don't get confused. This is the real name of MEM Evaluation Lab Kit, which requires Windows 11 and Office 365 Deployment Lab Kit. Click on over here to download it. It will open another page. So here you can see that there are two options available. One is the complete lab zip file and another one is the setup guide. Click on, so you have to click on these two options to download it. It will be asking you to provide few details. Microsoft will be collecting the information from you. It doesn't require any credit card information or anything, but of course you need to provide your full information, your name, your mobile number, along with in which company you're working. That's it. Simple thing. So what it will consist of, you can see over here that this complete lab will be consisting of the latest version of SCCM. The Windows Server will be also there. It means it will be installed on Windows Server. And the lab guide, what lab guide will consist of? It will be consist of these information. There will be a huge Microsoft Word document which you can go and explore. They will be providing a step-by-step instruction on how you can explore the technology related to SCCM, along with the Intune as well. So everything will be there. So not more related to Intune, but I would say probably more as per in terms of SCCM. So the cloud management gateway, they are going to talk about that how you can configure the delivery optimization, the servicing of Windows 11 using group policy, configuration manager, and deploying the management using Microsoft Intune. So you can see the list is very big, right? So this is going to help you. So now when I'm coming to this page over here, so this is again telling me the same thing, the lab guide. What will be the lab guide? If you click on the prerequisites, this is what actually I explained you, right? And you can see once the lab is downloaded, it is valid till August 7, 2022. So I think 180 days of time you are having. So after that you have to again create a new lab, or if you have product keys you can enable, but usually it is only meant for the purpose of exploring it. Here I can see I have two files downloaded. The first one somewhere around 25 GB and the second is which consists of the doc file. So let me just extract the first one. Right click, extract all. Both zip files are extracted now with the name lab and lab guides. Let me open both. You can see I'm showing the content of both the extracted zip files. On left hand side it is the complete lab content. You can see the zpack file of 25 GB along with setup.exe and zpack. I'm going to execute setup.exe but not right away, just wanted to show you something else. On right hand side you can see the lab guide and setup guide. Again, setup guide will contain the username, password, credentials, and lab guide which is a big lab guide provided by the Microsoft to start working on the SCCM, to explore the technology with step-by-step instructions. So now I need to install the Hyper-V. I have already installed Hyper-V, but in case if it is missing, if you wanted to install it on your enterprise pro or education, you can install it very easily. Just open programs and features, go to turn Windows feature on or off, and just select the Hyper-V, and Hyper-V will get installed. Hyper-V requires a reboot as well. Once Hyper-V is installed, just launch it. As you can see, Hyper-V is installed, but there are no virtual machines, no configuration. So the very first thing what I'm going to do is going to create a switch. So on right pane, click on Virtual Switch Manager. By default, there is one switch automatically get created. So we will not be using the default switch. We have to create a new one, new virtual switch. Make sure to select external and click on create virtual switch. Provide the name, maybe just make it external only, and we have to provide the Ethernet adapter, that which Ethernet adapter will be used for the external, means to connect to the internet. So I'm using Wi-Fi. I'm going to use the option Wi-Fi 6. If you are using LAN, you can go and select with that option as well. Just make sure you are selecting the correct Ethernet adapter which is used for your Wi-Fi. That's it. Click on apply. Okay. I'm ready to configure my self-deploying SCCM Lab. because Ethernet adapter has been configured. Just one warning, if you don't have Ethernet adapter created, you will be getting an error. So that's why we did the first step. Now click on setup.exe. Click on more info, because by default it won't allow you, but it's safe to run because this file is from Microsoft. Click on run anyway. Setup wizard is in front of you for Windows 11 and Office 365 Deployment Lab Kit. Click on next. Read through the agreement, the license agreement. Click on next. Now it is searching for the local virtual switch which we just created, which is having an internet connection. So if we haven't created that, it will fail. So you can see it is showing me that it will take somewhere around approximately 20 minutes of time, but actually it took less than that. Click on next. I will be waiting for a couple of minutes. Let this activity get completed and then I will be back. Here you can see the lab has been extracted. Now it is creating the virtual machines for me. It's importing the virtual machines. You can see the labs are configured, so I can go and open the Hyper-V Manager. I'm just clicking on next. And let's see the Hyper-V Manager. You can see all the virtual machines has been created and showing as in running mode. So just for the demonstration purpose, let me just save the workstations. Save means I will be just freeing few memory, the RAM, so that it is not utilizing the system. So now the devices, the CM1 and DC1 are the most important one, which is related to the one. CM1 is for the configuration manager, DC1 is the domain controller, the GW1 is a gateway. So let me just open the configuration manager, right click, connect. So what username and password I'm going to provide you to this Windows server? Let me just show you the lab guides. I hope you remember that I told you that there are two Word files. So one was lab guide and one was setup guide. So I need to open the setup guide. This is the lab setup guide for Windows 11 and Office 365 Deployment Lab Guide, which is meant for the MEM Lab Evaluation Lab Kit. So if I scroll down, it is talking everything related to the configuration, that what we require, what we have to do on the Hyper-V, how to create the external virtual switch and that virtual switch, and how to extract the zip file and setting up the lab. All the information related to the prerequisites are also mentioned over here. The server name, workstation names are mentioned here. And the important thing is you can see the credentials. The username credentials we require to log on to our lab. So I know that what credential I have to enter. So I'm going to enter the credentials. You can find it in the description as well. Here you go. I have logged into the SCCM server. Let me launch the console. Here you can see I have launched to the SCCM Configuration Manager server. Along with, I can open the console and the complete configuration. Everything is there and it's in a fully functional manner. So you can go and exploring the technology. I also told you about the lab guide. Let's see what exactly is there in the lab guide. This is the lab guide, Windows 11 and Office 365 Deployment Lab Guide. It's of 168 pages. So if I look into it, you can see the complete lab setup, plan and prepare infrastructure, deploy Windows 11, how to do that using task sequence, servicing of the image, servicing of Windows 11 using group policy and configuration manager, cloud management. So in detail instructions are there. So if I scroll down, let's have a look. You can see there are step-by-step instructions which you can go through, that how you can prepare the configuration manager, what settings you have to do related to the boundary group, discovery. So every kind of instructions, the things which you would like to explore, you are not able to do in your production environment, or you don't have any kind of setup before, you can go and explore it. I hope this video was enough useful for you to understand that how we can configure the SCCM deployment, SCCM Configuration Manager Lab. Hope you liked it. Thank you so much.